No, y'all know I gotta do this challenge.
I give my all to have just one more night with you. I risk my life to feel your body next to mine, 'cause I can't go on living in the memory of your song. I give my all for your love tonight. I give my all for your love tonight. Hello, divine folks. It's your girl Nerese, back with another video. And in this video, it's gonna be a little bit different than what I've usually done, but we're gonna talk about the My All Challenge. Let's get into it. I wanted to talk about the My All Challenge, one, because we're kind of in a Mariah Carey season right now, and I partaked in the challenge, and I kind of just wanted to do like a little breakdown about the experience as someone who participated in it, and then also as a lamb, and you know, just someone that's a fan of music and just rollouts and different initiatives that people will do during the rollout of a project. And so right now we're in the celebration of the 25th anniversary of Mariah Carey's Butterfly album. And if you haven't watched, you should definitely check out my review on the album. That video kind of was like the first video that started taking off a little bit on this challenge. On this channel. And right now I think we're at like 160 views. So I'm trying to push to 200. So I think we can do that. But you know, this is another special treat for the lambs out there, the people who are Mariah Carey fans, a part of the Lamely. And you know, I just kind of wanted to talk about this moment. So it was funny because I made a post about this. I'll probably insert that here. To this day, I don't attempt to sing that song. It's a song that I would really have to work on. I could probably do it, like if I gave it time and energy. You know, I'm not just going to try to wing it for this video, because y'all not going to catch me slipping like that.
No, y'all know I gotta do this challenge.
And what's so funny is that, you know, I was just talking about, you know, like avoiding My All as a song. And it was just so happened that they announced that challenge maybe like a few days, not a few days, it was like last week sometime. But I had just posted that clip online, and like a few days later they announced the challenge, and it was like My All of all songs. Like it wasn't Butterfly, it wasn't, you know, there's many songs on the album that they could have chose, but they went with My All. And I get it, it is a power ballad and it was a huge song, you know. So you know, They Have the Range. If you don't know They Have the Range, it's a channel, not a channel, but it's a page where they repost different vocalists and singers, and they really highlight singers, like singers, you know. And from time to time they'll do vocal challenges on songs, and then people, you know, like your girl, who are singers, will attempt to do the challenge. And from time to time they'll repost it, who they think were the best, and people will critique it and stuff like that. And then, you know, and sometimes they might not even repost it, but people just jump in on the challenge. Like for example, like the Plastic Off the Sofa challenge, when Beyonce put out the Renaissance album, that one was started by Avery Wilson. And you know, everybody just started jumping on the challenge and sharing their own version.
I feel like Beyonce was like, oh, y'all want to run?
I mean, I did run track, so
On your marks,
let's get
get
it.
set, hoes. Let's go.
Hey, just the way you fall, one more kiss after you said you were leaving. But I like it, baby. I like it. alive like a baby.
And then They Have the Range did the Virgo's Groove Challenge, which, mind you, I did do the Virgo's Groove Challenge. Hello, Divine Ones, it's your girl Nerese, and we're back with a challenge. Virgo's Groove, that is. Let's get it. Your love, good Lord, baby. Don't you ever switch it up. Talk to me nice, nice. Of my life, of my life, you're the love of my life, baby, you're the love of my life, you're the love of my life, and baby, love me, love me, baby, let me love you right, touch me, please me, kiss me more, you're the only one in my life, you are, yeah, you are, you And it was funny because, you know, I didn't say it, but the streets were saying the girls were struggling. And so I did my challenge, and I was pretty proud of my challenge because I was like, I feel like I did that. And I wasn't the only one. There were people, the streets were saying that I ate the girls. No shade to the girls. We love the girls, you know, but there was a few people that, you know, gave me my props. And, you know, and I think that video got like at least over like 1,000 views on Twitter. And people were reposting it and liking it and commenting and stuff like that. Some people had their critiques and, you know, didn't like that I changed it up so much from the original version, and that's fine. People can, you know, have their opinions as they do. But there were a lot of great feedback that I got from that. And, you know, I was hoping that They Have the Range would repost it, and they didn't. But it's okay. You know, but it still got out there and people saw it and really like supported it and loved it. So I was like, all right, word, you know, so let me like get more into these challenges. And my thing is, sometimes I'll do a challenge mad late, but I'm trying to be better about like, you know, striking while the iron is hot. So, you know, then they announced the My All challenge. And I'm like, I was just talking about being like scared to sing this song and like avoiding this song for like all of my life. And then they announced the challenge. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. We got to do the challenge. I can't not do the challenge. And so it took me a few days to do the challenge because I think one day I had work like all day. And then another day I had stuff planned for the day that I was doing. And at that point, I think they had already did like their first 2 rounds of posts. And then the day that they did their finale, I didn't know how many rounds they were going to do, but I figured like, all right, let me at least try to, you know, get this going while, excuse me. Let me at least try to get this going while they're still like posting about it. So I think, what was that, like Thursday or Friday? I think it was Friday. It was Friday. You know, I was not playing with that challenge, you know, because I had like faith that I could do it, but you know, it's not like I normally sing and belt at that like place in my register, which is something that I've been doing more often lately, just with certain songs and different like things that I've been working on, like outside of just like challenges or whatever, like just me rehearsing and like, you know, practicing songs just for my own performance. And you know, so I was nervous about it, but I was like, you know, I feel like I could do it, like if I really like prepped myself and everything. So I made sure I like did my warm-ups because I wasn't about to blow my voice out trying to sing this song. And so I went about it, you know, the smart way, with technique in mind, just because like growing up I would just sing songs and, you know, wouldn't think about warming up and you know, and temperature and like, you know, did you have tea and everything, like is your vocals like You know, because all that stuff matters. Like the temperature of the room matters. Like, you know, steam helps loosen up the vocal cords, and like just different things that you eat and consume can affect your voice. And, you know, I took all of that into account when I was prepping for this challenge. So I was like, all right, look, I'm gonna do my warm-ups. I'm gonna make my tea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna make sure there's the honey in there. And we're doing the right things to make sure not only that I prepare for it, but I also take care of my voice while trying to practice it. Because when you're practicing, you do things over and over and over again. And, you know, and there was times where like my voice was drying out for a bit. So I was like, okay, like, I know I can't sing this part of the song just back to back to back like this. Like, I have to give myself like breaks in between and like do mini like vocal rests and stuff like that. And, you know, and I'm very honest about this. Like, you know, some people, you just hear the song and you see the performance and it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. People are like, yeah, I learned this in one take, you know. But I'm gonna be real, like I said, I was scared to sing the song, and I'll get more into that later on in this video. But, you know, I'll go through the process of what I had to do to prepare for it. Just because it's very real, and nobody really talks about that. Nobody talks about like the vocal preparation before, like, you know, approaching a moment like that. And, you know, and there might be people who do this in their sleep and they belt all the time. But, you know, like throughout the years, I've had to like discover the strength and power in my voice. Like, it's not like there was something that I grew up doing. Like, I didn't grow up belting songs. You know, I would from time to time, but like, you know, it was something that, it wasn't like something that I did all the time. And I'll get into that later on. So anyway, I'm practicing the song, and the first time I attempted it, I was shocked that I was even able to get there. Because it was one night where I was just like, let me just see if I could reach it. Mind you, no warm up, no tea, no nothing. And my voice said, bitch, no. It was like, girl, why would you even do this? Like, you ain't even warm up. You haven't been singing nothing. And you just going to start at the last chorus of my y'all? Like, come on. So I was like, okay, so I already had that experience in my mind. But then when I did all the things to make sure I was like taking care of my voice, then it was like, it was easy the first time. And I was like, oh, okay, we got this. But, you know, when I was doing it back to back and I kept repeating it, then my voice was starting to get like dry. But then not only that, but I had to, because when I do a cover or just any performance of a song, like, the first time I'll do it exactly like the song, but then the more that I live with the song, I'll figure out different nuances and different runs that I want to do and like change the approach to the song just to make it a little bit my own. You know, so I add my own little flavor to it. Cause like we all can like try to sing it. I mean, we not gonna sing it like Mariah, of course, you know, but we can do it run for run. But, you know, I feel like it's more unique when you add your own like spin and your own runs and tone and everything to it. So as I was practicing the song, I was developing my approach on how I wanted to do it. Like, okay, like, how do I want to do this run? Do I want to put a high note here? Like, how do I want to do this? You know, I don't want to like force it all the way out. I still kind of want it to be soft. Like, how would I want to land on the notes? So I'm thinking about all of that as I'm practicing the song. And then, mind you, I learned that I was like, okay, this is a song where I have to take breaks in between practices and, you know, make sure that I keep the tea hot and, you know, keep my vocals lubricated and steamed and everything, just to keep everything like, you know, elastic, I guess, if that's the right word. And so I was doing all of that, you know. Anyway, I digress. And, you know, I finally got to the take that I posted online. And the thing about that is that I like sang full out the first time. Okay, so the take that I posted was the first recording that I did. And I did several other recordings after that. And I just didn't like how I approached it. And plus I was doing it back to back, so my voice was getting like a little bit tired at that point. So I was like, okay, I need to like take a break and then come back to it. And then, mind you, aside from the fact that I'm a singer and a songwriter and everything like that, and I have a love and focus on music, like, I'm very much a visual artist too. So I was like, okay, we got the vocal part, we got the music, I have the nuances and the runs that I want to do, but what is the visuals giving? You know, and I know people aren't caring about that. Like, you know, some of the videos that was reposted, like, of course, people were just, you know, singing on their phone. They was probably in rehearsals. They wasn't trying to be all cute. I was trying to give a my all ensemble moments, you know, with the black dress. And I just didn't like how the dress was, like, on me, like, the dress that I was wearing in the video that I posted, because it kept ruffling up and stuff like that. And I had another dress that was similar and would have looked better, but the visual aesthetics was better in the other takes with the other dress and everything. And I figured out like the angles and all of that and the lighting, because I mean, hello, I'm a visual artist. Like, you know, I creative direct most of my like projects and stuff like that, and I put the lighting together, I built the set, I do the editing and all that stuff. So by the time I figured out how I wanted the aesthetics to be, I was a little bit vocally tired at this point. And honestly, like, the best take was my first one, even though like the visuals weren't giving how I wanted it to give. Like, I didn't like how I looked in the video, like I didn't like how the dress was on me. You know, I didn't like the lighting, like, and I totally feel Mariah with the lighting. Like, if y'all, you a real lamb if you know, like, Mariah don't play about her lighting, okay? And I felt her, because I was like, once I got the lighting to, like, a really cool, like, you know, ambiance kind of a, you know, vibe and aesthetic, it just, the vocals just weren't giving. So I was like, fuck it. And this is a vocal challenge. It's not a visual challenge. It's a vocal challenge. So I was like, look, fuck it. I gotta go with the clip that's not my visual favorite, but it was my vocal favorite. So we did that. And so yeah, and I put my challenge up there. So, you know, I didn't get picked for the finale post, because I posted like earlier that day. No, actually I posted the night before, and I did the extended post where I kind of gave the backstory of me talking about my all in my album review video. And then I just posted the challenge by itself the next day, just to kind of like, you know, get content flowing, because, you know, I'm trying to get in the habit of posting multiple times a day and stuff like that. So did that, and then it picked up, and, you know, it was a lot more views than I thought people would watch. And my whole thing was, the only thing about the challenge that like bothered me a little bit was that like a lot of the people that were getting reposted, not everybody, but most of the people were like people that had like blue checks, that were verified vocalists and singers with established careers as a vocalist, and people with like 10,000 followers or 100,000 followers. And don't get me wrong, there were definitely some, like, you know, I'm gonna give the credit where it is, and I'm not gonna say it was everybody. There were like a handful of people that might have had like maybe like 1,000 and some change followers, maybe a little less than 2,000 followers. You know, they were in the mix, but it was a majority of people who were, you know, a little bit more popular, you know. And so, and my thing was like, okay, there was a repost of Jordin Sparks doing my all at Steve Mackey's Taco Tuesdays, and I remember seeing that clip a while ago. And, you know, I didn't see Jordin Sparks post that one, or at least not on Instagram. She could have posted it on Twitter or TikTok, I don't know. But, you know, and I was just like, well, I mean, yeah, she did cover it, and she did a good job. She did a great job, you know. But I'm like, did she submit for the challenge though? You know, that was my only thing. And I was like, you know, I feel like, I get it. Jordin Sparks is a vocalist. She's a singer. And, you know, it looks good to have her as the first image on the slide, and it's going to entice people to look and watch and stuff like that. Like, I get it for analytic purpose, you know. But like, as someone with a small following, at the moment, that's still growing, you know, as someone with a growing following, we'll say that, and knowing that there's probably other vocalists out there who probably nailed this challenge and probably won't get seen or get the recognition because they only have like 400 followers. I mean, even 4,000 followers, you know. And, you know, and I left a comment about that. Who knows if anybody saw it. You know, and it was no shade to Jordin or anybody, like, you know, it's no shade to anybody, but that was just my only thing, was just like, you know, I feel like it's unfair to people who have smaller followings who really like look forward to these challenges and actually enjoy doing these challenges, and you know, look to hope to get like reposted. And the thing about this particular challenge was that Mariah Carey was in collaboration with They Have the Range, so she was reposting her favorite videos that out of the group. So in my mind, me being the lamb that I am, and a vocalist, and you know, and just a fan, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is a chance that I can be seeing my Mariah Carey, you know? So selfishly, you know, I was feeling away. But not even just for me, but just for other people too. Because I know I'm not the only one who probably felt that way. Nobody said it, but I was like, you know what, fine. I'll be the one to say the thing. Like, it's not my first time ruffling people's feathers by saying the truth. And, you know, or just saying things that nobody else wants to address, you know, like I feel like that's a part of my, you know, signature at this point. But and you know, fine, I'll take the heat, like take the heat every day. But you know, that was my only thing about it, was just like, you know, like what about the little people who don't have as much of a following, who probably are just as talented as the people with 100,000 followers, or just as talented with the people with like maybe like 10,000 followers with a blue check, but won't get noticed because they don't have as many likes on their post or as many shares. And that was my only concern about that. And, you know, and although that was my concern, on the bright side, so we're kind of having a full circle moment here. So I was a little bit like nervous about that, because I was like, you know, like I do want to be noticed for this challenge, but I don't think that people are going to see it, because I only have like, now like about like 940 some followers right now. Shout out to me being on Miss Deb's live. That's a whole nother think piece. Because before then I had like 880, but when I was on her live and I sang on there a few times, like my followers went up. That was a whole nother moment. But shout out to Mookie, my big bro, who was in the live, and you know, I had a chance to throw him my alley-oop and be like, yo, Miss Deb, if you looking for a singer, you need to look at Mookie. And you know, got him a chance to get in there. You know, he took my spot in the live, and I was like, if anybody gonna take my spot, it should be my big bro. You know what I'm saying? And he nailed it. He sang Anita Baker, and oh my gosh, he's such a dope, talented vocalist, and she loved him, and you know, and was like interested in potentially working with him. So you know, I'm just so excited for him, and I just love that. All right, Boogie, come on.
Okay, she coming off. Let's get Mookie on.
Oh my God,
Okay,
Reese. Thank you. Oh my God. Miss Deb.
Where
How you doing, love?
Where you
I'm from Trenton, New Jersey.
You got my last name.
Christy?
No, I seen Payne.
Oh, Payne, because my artist name is Mookie Payne.
Oh, okay, so that's okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe she put me on blast like that. But just tell me when to go.
The bad part is, if your ass get on here and can't sing, that's what the part is.
All right.
Let's have it.
All right. When we met, always knew I would feel the magic for you on my mind constantly. My heart is where you should be. I love you here by me, baby. You let my love fly free. I want you in my life for all time. Caught up in the rapture of love. Nothing else in the way. Yeah. When I feel the rapture of you, I. 'Cause I love you here by me, baby. You let my love fly free. I want you in my life for all time. Caught up in the rapture of love. Nothing else in the way. Yeah. When I feel the rapture of you, I. 'Cause I love you here by me, baby. You let my love fly free. I want you in my life for all time.
Anita.
Songbird.
Songbird gonna do that.
Songbird
Sing it.
and him,
Anita?
both of y'all gotta come up with a song for me. Come on.
Okay.
So y'all make sure y'all go follow him too. I'm gonna put his socials and stuff up here. But yeah, follow Mookie because super talented. But anyway, so side note. But now I have like a little over 900 followers. So, you know, I'm almost at 1,000. So if you see this video, make sure y'all follow me on social media. Follow my page on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you know, all the things. And it's going to be in the description. So make sure y'all check that out. But, you know, I was nervous that people weren't going to see my challenge. And, you know, I worked so hard on the song and like, you know, like pushing my voice, not pushing it, but challenging myself to push my voice to a space that I know I can sing at. And I just hadn't really like tried, and I did, and you know, and I was proud of the take that I did. And I mean, granted, there were certain moments where I was like a little bit hard on myself, but to my surprise, you know, like it started picking up. Like even though they had already posted the finale post, you know, the next day, like later on into the night and then the next day, like it was blowing up. Like I was getting likes all over, like, and you know, the last time I checked the analytics for it, at least over 1,000 people watched the video. And I was so surprised, because let me tell you, sometimes my posts be only getting like 4 likes, and I don't be mad at it. I'm very grateful for it, you know, and I'm appreciative of where I am in my journey right now, and I don't take it for granted. You know, there are moments where I'm just like, I wish I was more established than I am now, just because I feel like I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been like putting in work in music for like years now. And you know, and I feel like I'm still like scratching the surface when it comes to like building an audience and, you know, really getting people to understand me and like just my passion as an artist and, you know, as a fan of music with this channel and just like, you know, just my music. And so, you know, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that like 1,000 people watched this. And I was getting like, and I have like at least like around like 100 likes on the video. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, and to some people that might not be a big deal. And who knows, maybe years from now when I look back at this video, I'll get that in like 5 minutes. Who knows? But like, you know, the Nurys that I am now with where I am in my journey right now, I'm like, I was so excited and grateful because I didn't think that many people would see it. You know, and a lot of people were, you know, there were some people sharing it. There's people, you know, in the comments tagging They Have the Range, even though the challenge was already done at that point. And, you know, people were really, like, they were liking it. And I was a little nervous about it. Like, I was, and mind you, and I was nervous about it because, like, again, when I was on that live with Miss Deb, you know, she told me, she was like, look, I can hear that you can sing, but you not giving me everything. Basically, she was telling me, mind you, I didn't warm up prior to joining the live, but I noticed that she was doing lives and she would have people sing. So I was like, oh, this is my chance. And I was on there for a good minute. Like, you know, you would think me and Miss Deb would keep, you know, hopefully putting that in the universe. But, you know, I had a chance to sing for Miss Deb several times, but her main like critique for me was that she was like, you holding back. And, you know, and I was holding back mainly because it was like late and, you know, it was past bedtime at this point. So I was like, I didn't want to like be belting through the house. And so I was holding back actually, and she can tell, and she was like, look, I can tell you can sing, but you not giving me everything right now. And so, you know, and with that in mind, like, and mind you, this was a few days before I did the challenge. So I was like, okay, I really gotta like, because this is the type of song that puts my vocals in the space where Miss Deb was saying I can go, you know. And so I had that in mind when I was practicing. So I was really hard on myself and I really wanted it to be perfect. And I was already like excited that I got like a critique from someone that's in the industry. And mind you, like Lazy Bone had liked one of my posts like maybe a few days before then, when I had posted a clip of me doing the breakdown on Breakdown, no pun intended. And Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony liked my post on Instagram. So I was just like, okay, all these, like, hold on. I'm like, okay, industry folks, like, noticing my little old me on the interwebs. So I was like, okay, if this is the video that just happens to get the attention of a Mariah Carey, it has to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Mariah's my girl, and you know, like, it has to be perfect. And it wasn't perfect to my liking, but it was the easiest take for me, and it felt the most natural. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go for it, even though it's not the visual aesthetics that I wanted it to be. It wasn't the lighting and the outfit and the ensemble that I would have really wanted, but it was about vocals. And so I let it go, and I just put it into the universe and put it on Instagram and TikTok. And even TikTok was getting some traction too. Like, there's a few people who were liking it and commenting on TikTok like, yo, this should have way more views, like, this is amazing, this and that. And I'm just like, thank you, I love that. And you know, but Instagram was where it was really blowing up, and I was just so shocked because, like, you know, I was feeling like, damn, like, nobody's gonna see it. Like, I have a small page, I don't have thousands of followers, like, they're probably not even gonna repost me. And I was trying not to think negative like that, but you know, I was like, all right, I gotta think optimistic.
Bitch, you think it's small. We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big, bitch.
I gotta, you never know, maybe they will see it, you know, even if it's only like 5 likes, maybe he might see my video and repost it. And even though it wasn't reposted, like, I'm still proud of the fact that it blew up somewhat, and like, I got as many views as I did, because I was not expecting it at all. And so many people liked the video, and I was just like, wait, oh my god. So yeah, that was just my my all challenge moments, and really like the behind the scenes of that, because you know, you see people do these challenges and you see these videos, and don't get me wrong, there's probably people who do this like easily because that is their range and they've been belting that high for like however long, you know. But going into why, I guess it was like a fear for me a little bit, was just because, like, growing up, like, I was very timid about my voice. Like, I mentioned this in a post that I said today, the day that I'm recording this. But you know, I'll just break it down here. But you know, like, growing up, like, I was always like, I was definitely a whisper singer. And even listening to Mariah Carey, like, I would hum along and be able to do the runs with her. Like, the runs were easy for me, and like, you know, and the high notes were fine. Maybe not so much the whistle notes, like, I'm gonna keep it clear, you know. But like, you know, when she would do runs into the high notes, like, I could follow along. And you know how Mariah, like, sometimes she'll belt, and then sometimes she'll do like very airy, like, falsetto type of thing. Like, I would be able to like run and follow her like softly, but I never really like challenged myself to like full on belt the songs like her. And you know, I don't know what that was when I was a kid, but like, I only felt comfortable singing out loud fully when I was home alone. And the thing is, like, I have an older brother who is very into music and inspired me to get into music when I was young, and that was the thing that, you know, was why we were so close, you know, when we were young. And honestly, he was the one who put me on to Mariah, for real, like, through Bone Thugs and Harmony. So in those posts, I, you know, gave a little shout out to my brother, because he put me on, for real. But I don't know, like, I guess I felt a little bit more comfortable singing around him, but he would just like sing whatever, like, you know, like, if he felt like singing, he would just sing through the house. And you know, I would kind of have to like piggyback off of like his ambition, I guess, like, you know. So like, if he would start singing through the house, then I'd be like, oh, okay, then that was like my okay to feel comfortable singing myself. But it never really started with me, you know, unless again I was like home by myself, you know. And then like, that just kind of like was a thing through the years. And you know, even when I was older, and then, you know, my cousin moved in with us, and there were periods of time where my brother was home and then he wasn't. And, you know, and when he was home, I felt a little bit more comfortable to kind of like be myself a little bit, because he was like the closest person who understood me as a music fan and, you know, being into film and stuff like that. So like I could let my guard down a little bit with him, but I still always felt like I couldn't fully like express my voice, you know, and I didn't want to like outshine anybody or like be seen as like the show off or whatever, because I can do all the things, you know, not saying I can do all the things, but like, you know, do like the runs and the high notes and like, you know, the low notes and stuff like that. And so I would only sing really like at my talent show in school like once a year. I mean, I sang throughout the year too, like there was like chorus and, you know, our a cappella group, but the talent show was the one space every year that I could really sing the way I wanted to sing and, you know, be able to perform in front of people. And, you know, and so I was always kind of like shy about my voice. It was never something that I like boasted about. Like my first year in my high school, like I was making friends and everything. Or not, it was my high school, but I started that year in 8th grade. So it was still kind of middle school. But that very first year, after I had already made friends and everything, like the talent show was in spring. So that was like towards the end of the year. I went through that whole year without anybody really knowing that I could like sing for real. Like they knew I was a part of the musical things, like in, you know, chorus and stuff like that. And I was a part of the play. But no one really heard me sing, like really sing. And of course I did Beautiful by Christina Aguilera because like, of course, cliche. And, you know, my friends were like crying in the stands. It was like so dramatic. But I appreciated that. It's great for the story, you know. And they were just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you can sing like that. How come you didn't tell us? And it was funny because there was a girl in my class who was just like very like obnoxious about singing. And it's no shade to her. That was just like her personality. And that's just how she was. You know, at the time, I was very annoyed by it. But like in hindsight, I'm like, we were kids. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, and, you know, she was very like, you know, oh, I sing, and just like loudly singing through the hallways and stuff like that. And I was never that kid. Like I was just always like quiet. You know, I would like maybe hum to myself a little bit. And people would have to ask me to sing. They would be like, yo, Nerese. It was funny. My this one friend of mine, she asked me, she was like, can you sing Pretty Wings by Maxwell? Mind you, I was going to a predominantly black school, and this was a white girl asking me this. And I'm like, girl, what you know about Maxwell? But I was here for it. And so I was like, all right, cool, I'll sing that song. But, you know, like, people would have to ask me to sing a song. Like, it wasn't like it was something that I was, like, openly, outwardly doing until, like, later on in my adult years when I was, like, going to open mics and stuff like that. But even when I was going to open mics, there was a period of time where I was just going as the camera girl. Like I was just taking pictures of other artists and nobody really knew that I can sing until like I was in a group, which is a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But I say all this to say, you know, even me today, I'm still getting to a space where I'm still discovering my voice. I'm still honing my skills, still like mastering my craft. And I'm still discovering pockets within my voice that I haven't even like tapped into just because of years of just like suppressing myself and just not feeling comfortable to express myself. And that's just like the synopsis of my childhood, honestly, in more ways than one. Like not even just music, but just like creatively, like through fashion and stuff like that. Just because I always went to school where I had to wear a uniform and girl, it's a whole thing. But basically, I'm in an era in my life where I'm finally embracing my voice and embracing the strength and power within my voice that I've always had, that I've always been, you know, scared to tap into because I was so concerned about other people's feelings and opinions instead of living in my own truth and caring about my own feelings and my own expression, you know, and my own happiness, because like I put that on the back burner for a very long time, you know, and things appeared to be like cool, you know, but I was really like low-key like suffering inside because like I never felt like I can really fully express myself. and I never had like a outlet to do that. Like, you know, there wasn't like a place or a space where kids sing R&B. You know what I mean? Like, I was a part of the play and we did musical theater, and no shades of music theater, you know, but I wanted to sing Stevie Wonder and, you know, and Mariah Carey songs, and there was no like space for me to do that in my small hometown, you know. And I would do the things, like anything that was musical or creative I was a part of, but it wasn't like me. It wasn't anything that I truly wanted to do, you know, and it wasn't like an accurate expression of myself. So, you know, a lot of that was kind of like uncovered within this whole My All challenge, because, you know, people were like, scared for what? Like, you ate that, you know. But like, it's a whole lot that kind of goes into it. And, you know, and mind you, I had been singing along to this song for years. Like, one of my favorite songs of Mariah Carey, one of my favorite albums of hers. And like, I know all the runs, like I can hum along to all the runs and the high notes and the harmonies and stuff like that. But it was that belting aspect that was something that I hadn't really tapped into recently through the years, you know. So it was more than just like a vocal challenge for me. Like, it was, I don't know, I guess it was like healing, you know. It was a musical therapeutic moment for me, I guess. And just me kind of like tapping into, you know, my full expression of myself, and not like holding back and dimming myself to make other people comfortable, because you're going to make people uncomfortable anyway, you know, when you're just you know, whatever that looks like. So that's fine. I'd rather make people uncomfortable because I'm living in my truth and I'm truly expressing myself honestly and authentically. And, you know, God gave me the gift, so why would I hide or, you know, or shrink the gift that he gave me, you know? And it's not just like, oh, it's a singing thing. Like, singing in music has the power to, like, you know, save lives and inspire people and uplift people and shift the mood in a day. And if I can do that through my talent and my voice, you know, because that's really what it's about for me, like inspiring people and uplifting people and empowering other people to find their own voice, you know, metaphorically, literally, you know, symbolically, then that's what I want to do. And I stand on that. So to anybody who relates to that, even if you're not a singer, but had an experience where you felt like you had to shrink yourself or dim your light or hide your passion or hide your gift, you know, I want you to hear this and know that this is your time to shine, and it's your time to stop holding back for people. You know, the right people are the ones that are going to empower you to live in, like, in your brightest light, you know. And the people who get it, and the people who don't. And don't dim yourself for the people who don't get it. Shine for the people who do, and the people who want to see you shine and want to see you thrive. And, you know, and help you shine your light. With that said, that is my TED Talk. I hope you all enjoyed this video very much. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video. I'm still figuring out which day we're going to do this, because, you know, I'm trying to figure out what, like, my work schedule and everything. But probably like maybe like somewhere between like Friday and Sunday. I'm still figuring out a day so we can be consistent with this. But, you know, do all the things that the YouTubers be telling you to do. You know, like, comment, subscribe, share with your homegirl, your homeboy, your home human. And I hope you enjoy it. It's your girl Nerese, and I'm out.